is 6 o'clock. I am going to call this meeting to order, and we will begin with the invocation followed by the pledge. So I'm going to ask everybody to stand, and I'm going to ask our Councilman Keith Rominger to go ahead and lead us in the invocation.
Please bow your heads. Lord, we ask for your wisdom and guidance as we gather tonight. Help us to listen with open minds, speak with clarity and respect, and make decisions that serve the good of all. Grant us unity and purpose and integrity in all our actions. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we'll do a quick roll call. Mr. Stopper? Here. Mr. Rominger? Here. Miss Alley? Here. Mr. Schatzel? Here. And Mr. Tolbert? Here. Let the record reflect that the entire council and mayor are present. With that, do we have any agenda items to either add or delete? No, sir. All right. The consent agenda, which consists of the approval of minutes from the 14th of April, the May 4th Planning Commission minutes, and bills payable. Do I have a motion to approve? So moved. And do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Stoffer. Are there any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Like sign. Let the record reflect that the consent agenda was approved unanimously. Let's move down to our awards, proclamations, and presentations, and we'll ask for the Youth Council update.
Absolutely. Tonight is the last meeting of the school year for our Youth Advisory Council. We had two of the council board members that were graduating and moving off to college, and so we thank them. And we have 5 new members that have been selected to be on the board, and 3 of them are returning, and we had 2 new. We had extra folks, so this is my advertisement. If anyone of you knows of a rising high school student in the Niceville area, Collegiate, Rocky, Niceville High School, that would like to participate in the Youth Advisory Council, it's not too late. They can apply, and we accept everybody. So we'd like to see them here.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Our second public hearing for the 2025 Community Development Block Grant, or the CDBG. Mr. Dennis Dingman from Summit Professional Services, I think you've got some words of wisdom that you want to pass along to us, is that correct?
How long have you known me? I don't have very many. Can you hear me okay?
Not yet. Get that thing up there closer to those.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Move a little closer.
A little closer. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Schatzel, can you see him okay?
This is a
Did you
comedy.
not listen to your prayer?
Oh!
Wow. Oh, man. All right, Mr. Dingman, you have the floor.
Thank you. Denny Dingman, Summit Professional Services. It's great to see you all tonight. You're always about to blast, I must say. This is, again, the second public hearing for the FFY 2025 CDBG grant, and the cycle will end on May 20th, so that's when we'll actually submit an application. The second public hearing is for you to consider whether you want to submit the application to the agency. The first public hearing was held on February 10th of this year, and with this second public hearing, there will be 2 motions and votes that I'll ask you to make, and we've offered some wording on the back page of this presentation, if you would like some wording for the motion and vote. Again, this CDBG program is designed to provide benefit to low to moderate income persons, prevent the elimination of slum and blight, or meet a recent urgent needs such as disaster recovery. The grant that the city will be going after this cycle is a housing rehabilitation grant, which will assist low to moderate income residents of the community with physical improvements to their home. They have to be homeowners. They have to live in the city permanently, be homeowners to participate. And the average cost that we'll be able to put into a home this year is $62,500, I think it is. But that's the average. Some may be higher, some may be lower. The grant proposed is a $750,000 grant. As I mentioned last time, the city's population increase bumped it up to a higher category. Last time that we got a grant was $700,000, so we're going to put in a grant for $750,000 this year. There will be a minimum of 11 housing units that will help. Of these, 3 homes will be just low-income individuals, meaning there'll be 50% median income, and 2 of those homes will be for very low income, 30% of median income. Now, we may do all very low income. We never know until we get into it, but we're making a commitment to do at least 5, 3 low income and 2 very low income homes. The budget for this year is, again, $750,000. $622,500 will be for construction. $15,000 will be for temporary relocation, and $112,500 will be for administrative costs. Now, some of this money can be moved around. That temporary relocation, if we don't need it, we typically need it, for example, if we're working on a bathroom and a home only has 1 bathroom, they qualify for living assistance. Or if we're working on a kitchen and the kitchen's out of commission because we're doing whatever and we can't use it, then they would qualify for relocation. And that's basically it. And so we'll submit on the 20th if the council approves to submit.
So, before I ask for a motion, does anyone on the council have any questions for Mr. Dingman?
I do.
Go ahead, Mr. Stoffer.
How do you find your contractors for this? Do you put it out for bid?
We do. We do it a couple ways. Of course, we know a lot of contractors locally, and we like to hire them. So we put out a notice to those that we know. We go on DMS's website, and we look for contractors within 5 counties around Okaloosa, and we submit pamphlets to them. We put an ad in the building department asking for contractors as well. So that's how we go about it.
How do you ensure that the $750,000, how do you ensure you don't go over budget, and if you do, what happens? And what do you do if there's any excess funds?
That's what we get paid for. We cannot go over budget.
Okay.
So that's one thing. In fact, we hate to do it, but if we're a few thousand under budget, we have to send it back.
Okay.
So that's the key is, when I go for inspections, I'll do a write-up, then I'll estimate it out. So I'll kind of know what the jobs are going to cost. And I do that for 2 reasons, not only to stay in budget, but when a contractor submits a bid to me, I want to know, number one, that he's covering all the items that I put out to bid. And number two, if someone comes in low, below my estimated budget, I go over it with them, line item by line item, say, this is what I want, this is what I want. So after we have a walkthrough with contractors and they see the proposed job, we ask questions. Do you understand this is what we want on this line, and this is what we want on this line item? So we're pretty thorough. We've never gone over budget, but we have come under budget in other times.
Thank you. Any other questions? So we have a motion and a second.
No, we didn't.
No, we did not. I'm sorry. We need a motion and a second. That's what I meant to say. To determine whether we want to submit for the FY 2025 Small Cities Community Development Block Grant Housing Rehabilitation application to the Florida Department of Commerce. Do I have a motion on that?
I'll make the motion.
All right, and do I have a second?
Second.
Second? All right. Further discussion by the council?
Does he need to read the motion?
Oh, I did. I read the motion. So, with this motion on the floor, And no discussion yet by the council or questions for Mr. Dingman. Would anybody in the audience like to come before the council on this issue? Seeing none. Mr. Stoffer, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Rominger,
Yes.
Miss Alley,
Yes.
Mr. Schatzel,
Yes.
and Mr. Tolbert.
Yes.
All right. Mr. Dingman, the floor is yours again.
Okay, the second motion is for an enabling resolution that authorizes the mayor, or in his absence, the city manager to sign the documents for the application.
All right, so any questions before I call for the motion from Mr. Dingman? All right, so we need a motion to adopt a resolution, and I guess we've already numbered it, 26-05-04. It's a resolution authorizing signature of the necessary application documents. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
All right, and motion by Mr. Rominger, do I have a second?
Second.
Second is Mr. Stopper. Any discussion or questions? All right, Mr. Dingman, hold on for just a second. Would anybody in the audience like to come before the council on this issue? Seeing none. Mr. Stopper,
Yes.
Mr. Rominger,
Yes.
Miss Alley,
Yes.
Mr. Schatzel.
Yes.
And Mr. Tolbert.
Yes.
All right. Mr. Dingman, what else do you have?
Just those two documents that you can sign this?
You need a date too?
No, that'll be fine. I don't know if I should say this, but I'm making it up.
All right, there you go.
Thank you.
Thank
Have
you.
a great night.
You bet. All right. Oh yeah, it's that fun time of the year, isn't it? So I guess we're at the annual audit presentation, and Warren Everett is going to enlighten us, I guess.
Enlightenment, strong word. I don't think I'll have a hard time being heard by anyone up there. Good evening, my name is Joel Bradley. I'm an audit principal with Warren Everett. I've been responsible for supervising and signing off on the city's audit work for about the last 3 years. My presentation tonight will be a little more brief than it has been the last couple of years. Now, a lot of those same financial metrics we've been talking about the last couple of years, I have provided you with a handout that has that information to look at your leisure. And if you have any questions about it or would like to discuss it in further detail, I'm more than happy to do so. I can talk about this stuff all day long. So I know it's not everybody else's cup of tea, but it is mine. So let's go ahead and just jump right into the audit results. Our opinion on the city's financial statements this year was unmodified, which is a clean opinion. It's the highest level of assurance we can provide about the city's financial statements. The city also exceeded the $750,000 threshold of state financial assistance expenditures in FY25, which required a Florida single audit to be performed this year. In a single audit, we focus on testing the city's compliance with specific requirements mandated by the grant funding agencies, as well as evaluating the system of internal controls over compliance that the city has in place. And to give you some background, this comes from the reclaimed water line extension project. That's the main grant we're talking about here. In our single audit, we noted no material instances of non-compliance with those compliance requirements and no significant deficiencies or material weaknesses in the city's internal controls over compliance. Now, professional auditing standards require us to communicate any significant deficiencies or material weaknesses in the city's internal controls over financial reporting to you, the council, as well as any material instances of non-compliance that we come across in our audit. Typically, we just call these audit findings. I'm happy to report that we noted no significant deficiencies or material weaknesses in the city's internal controls over financial reporting this year, And there were also no material instances of non-compliance with laws, regulations, grant agreements, etc. The city was required to implement one new accounting standard this year, GASB Statement Number 101. It provides new requirements for calculating the liability for compensated absences. You could just think of that as accrued leave. The adoption of the standard resulted in no material changes to how the city was calculating it under the new standard. So it really had no impact on the city's financial statements this year. So, you know, and I know all of you can't see it, but there, this table here kind of shows some of those financial metrics that we've discussed for the city itself over the last 10 years, and I'm not going to stay on this slide very long. I just wanted to explain that I've got 3 slides left, and they all are just about specific metrics on this page here that I would like to discuss in further detail. So, this graph here, which I know you can't all see, but it shows the long-term debt per capita or per resident for governmental activities of the city in the last 10 years. Basically, this ratio is just calculated by taking outstanding long-term debt divided by the number of citizens. You know, this is a concept that's pretty much easy to understand for everyone. The more debt per resident that a municipality has, the less flexibility it has to determine how to use its resources. Therefore, all things being equal, the lower the ratio, the better. As you can see, it's at the lowest level it's been at in the last 10 years, $14 per resident in 2025. It indicates that the city has been able to purchase or construct capital assets without having to borrow over the last 5 years. And the city's capital outlay has primarily been funded by discretionary sales tax proceeds, COVID-19 financial assistance, and some non-recurring grant awards over that 5-year period. And that yellow line is just a trend line that shows an incremental increase over that period. The next graph I want to talk about is the months of cash and investments in the governmental funds. This, you know, I don't want to go too much into the calculation, but it just represents basically how the cash investments, how many months of operating expenditures in the governmental funds could continue for if nothing else were to come in through the door. The Government Finance Officers Association recommends maintaining a minimum of 3 months of cash investments in governmental funds. And as you can see here, the city was at 5.2 at the end of FY25. So some of the trade-off of repaying that long-term debt on the last slide is that it requires cash to pay that debt off. The city also received some non-recurring funding in 21 and 22 from the COVID-19 pandemic, approximately $8 million. And as you can tell, that correlates perfectly with the spike in that ratio. As some of that funding has been used on routine operating expenditures and more or less expended over the last 5 years, it's placed increasing pressure on management to either increase revenues to continue providing the same level of service or cut expenditures or programs, which, you know, thereby reduces the level of services being provided to residents. So I would say that this graph here strongly corroborates the council's decision to increase the millage rate for fiscal year 26 in order to replenish some of those cash reserves. Finally, this slide shows the enterprise fund's operating profit percentage over the last 10 years. When I say enterprise funds, I'm talking water and sewer, sanitation, and stormwater activities that are primarily funded through user charges. You know, basically this operating profit percentage indicates the degree to which an enterprise funds are self-sustaining. Because when they are not self-sustaining, a government may have to use reserves, issue debt, or significantly increase user fees. I would like to point out for fiscal year 25, the city incurred expenses of approximately $1.3 million in order to replace and upgrade thousands of meters citywide. So that's kind of skewing that number for fiscal year 25. I actually recalculated it without the expense of the meters, and it was a 0.4% profit. So effectively it broke even. The yellow line represents a 3-year moving average trend line that's kind of meant to illustrate any trends in profitability over time. And as you can see from that trend line, even though the enterprise funds have been profitable 9 of the last 10 years, the magnitude of that profitability is slowly declining. So that's just an indicator that council and management should continue to monitor whether the rates charged are adequate to fully cover the rising costs of operating those systems. But that's all I've got. I'm happy to take any questions.
Go ahead, Mr. Stoffer.
So I appreciate that, and
Speak in the mic, please.
I appreciate that, phenomenal job. I'm a CPA by trade. So seeing these numbers, seeing these results, but I do have a question on the enterprise funds. So you said we were in the negative because we replaced all of those meters.
A lot of meters.
But that's why we would use those funds. That's what they're intended for too. Would that be correct?
I would say, you get into a gray area of whether something is actually a capital in nature or non-capital in nature, because obviously a capital expense is not, it's not, it gets depreciated.
Right.
I
Just
don't
got
have to
expense.
explain that concept to you, but the point is that technically a lot of this water meter project did not meet the definition of a capital asset under the city's capitalization policy, and so I would almost argue that even though it was an operating expense this year, I mean, that's kind of capital in nature. It's not something you're gonna have to do on a routine basis, every couple of years. It's something, when was the last time that many meters were replaced citywide? I'm gonna say it hasn't happened in at least the last 5 to 7 years. 10 years, there we go. So, something the last 10 years, I would argue, maybe isn't an operating expense, but you're correct in that part of the charges you're charging those users are supposed to be used to improve the system and operate the system. So even though it was a kind of an outlier this year, that's still going to happen every 10 years. So it needs to kind of be figured into the entire cost of operating the system.
Any other questions, Mr. Stoffer?
Just outstanding. I just want to commend you and your staff. I remember we had write-ups before, and it was like the same ones every year, and now we have none. So again, great job.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Special thank you to Mr. Deitch, Mr. Poling, and their entire finance and customer service team. They really do put in a whole lot of work in order to get this thing across the finish line for the city every year. But if anybody has any questions or wants to discuss any of this further, feel free to contact me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You bet. Let's, since we have no, in public hearings, we have anything on first reading, we'll move down to public hearings, second readings, and we'll begin with ordinance 26-04-02.
This is an ordinance granting to Florida Power and Light Company, its successors, and assigns an electric franchise imposing provisions and conditions relating thereto, providing for monthly payments to the city of Niceville, Florida, and providing for an effective date.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Schatzel, and do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Rominger. Do we have anybody that needs to speak to this one?
No, sir, not unless you have questions.
Any questions? All right, would anybody in the council, or excuse me, anybody in the audience would like to come before the council on this issue? Seeing none. Mr. Tolbert, how do you vote?
Yes.
And Mr. Schatzel?
Yes.
Ms. Alley?
Yes.
Mr. Rominger?
Yes.
And Mr. Stoffer?
Yes.
All right, let's move down to ordinance 26-05-02.
An ordinance adopting additional amended budget changes for the city of Niceville for the fiscal year commencing on October 1, 2025. An ordinance adopting and approving appropriations set forth in said budget for the fiscal year commencing October 1, 2025, and providing for an effective date.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second? A second by Ms. Alley. Any questions by the council? Would anybody in the audience like to come for the council on this issue? Please come forward, state your name and address for the record.
Robert Leitridge, 304 St. Andrews Drive. Again, I need to state how wrong this is of us financing the school zones on Valparaiso Boulevard. This is a non-taxable entity. Starting a private business. These lights and crosswalk are part of starting this business, and you're asking us taxpayers to foot the bill. That's all I need to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anybody else in the audience like to come before the council on this issue? Seeing none. Mr. Stoffer, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Rominger?
Yes.
Miss Alley?
Yes.
Mr. Schatzel?
Yes.
And Mr. Tolbert?
Yes.
Let's move down to ordinance 26-05-03.
An ordinance of the City of Niceville, Florida, adopting an updated post-disaster redevelopment plan for the city, providing for modernization and consistency with current Florida statutes, Okaloosa County emergency management policies, and the Florida Building Code, repealing conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, conflicts, and an effective date.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
By Mr. Stoffer, and do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Rominger. Questions by the council?
I do have one.
Go ahead, Mr. Stoffer.
So this was, the PDRP was adopted in 1992. Did we have a lot of changes since then, or we just been out of whack?
Yes, 1992 is the last iteration of it, current, I guess, iteration.
I graduated high school that year.
Yeah.
I wasn't even born.
So, yeah, I mean, there's just various outdated language, there's federal, language for federal, disaster acts and things that, well, language in there doesn't exist anymore, I'll say that. So, it's trying to get it compliant so that, if, hopefully it doesn't happen, but if a storm comes and we're having to go after seeking, FEMA and other, federal or state reimbursements, we're compliant and it, makes it easier.
All I can say, Chris, is stay healthy, keep working, and keep doing what you're doing, obviously.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? All right, would anybody in the audience like to come before the council on this issue? Seeing none. Mr. Tolbert, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Schatzel?
Yes.
Miss Alley?
Yes.
Mr. Rominger?
Yes.
And Mr. Stoffer?
Yes.
All right. Let's move down to development orders, resolutions, and variances. We'll begin with resolution 26-05-01.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of Niceville, Florida, authorizing the submittal of an application to the United States Department of Transportation for Safe Streets and Roads for All, SS4A implementation grant, supporting the Palm Boulevard Complete Street Project, authorizing the city manager or designee to execute all necessary application documents and agreements, providing for findings, providing for conflicts, and providing for an effective date.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
By Miss Alley. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Schatzel. Do we have anybody that wants to come before the council on this and speak to it, like maybe Chris?
Yes, sir.
All right.
So yes, this is for just a grant submittal request, something we're working on with the city manager and our grants manager as well. Palm Boulevard, I know we've got a couple of different projects or portions of that project over there. This specifically is for the section kind of right behind the schools here from Johnson's to Spartan Drive. That includes a variety of safety improvements along the roadway there. We've been working with our consultant HAF. And there were road safety audits for Palm and a couple of other corridor streets within the community here that were funded and are going on now through the Safe Streets for All SS4A program. And their implementation grant period is open right now in May to be submitted by the end of May. So when with Phil and working saw that application period was going on now, so let's kind of jump on this, see if we can get funding for the implementation, which is the construction phase of it. So I do have all the project details. The actual plans are being finalized still right now. We had a recent meeting of the road safety committee and looked at these corridors with those road safety audits with HAP, our consultant, and that kind of leads into, you know, getting those documents and plans together to, you know, lead the final design of this stretch of Palm Boulevard. So with that, we're just asking for the okay to move forward with submitting for this grant, and then, you know, see where we go from there with it.
Any questions by the council?
More of a comment, this item, thank you for doing this, because it's supported by the Oakland Walton Traffic Planning Organization, who prioritizes this highly into it. Because of your hard work, we actually keep it highly prioritized against a lot of other folks who invest in other places that are competing for our money.
Yes.
So thank you for a great job.
And council, I would add that the design and engineering for this project is being paid for by a grant.
Yes.
So it's, you know, you gotta keep going.
Mr. Stopper?
I remember seeing the plans, I was excited, because I think it's, one, it's an eyesore, two, you have two schools, the post office and everything else there. Boy, I'm excited what you just said about Okaloosa County. Boy, if we get Palm Boulevard from John Sims to Parton cleaned up, and, man, what a home run.
For sure. Such a visible area right there, like I said. So
Yeah, I've always thought it, you know, why didn't the school pay? Well, they can't, but, you know, I'm like, you know, boy, I remember seeing the plans, great job.
Are there any other questions? Would anybody in the audience like to come before the council on this issue? Seeing none. Mr. Stopper, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Rominger?
Yes.
Ms. Alley?
Yes.
Mr. Schatzel?
Yes.
And Mr. Tolbert?
Yes.
All right, let's move down to Resolution 26-05-02.
A resolution of the City of Niceville, Florida, authorizing the city manager to enter into a site marketing agreement with Diamond Towers 5 LLC and manage the development of wireless communication infrastructure on city-owned property and providing for an effective date.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Mr. Tolbert, and do I have a second?
I'll second.
And Mr. Schatzel at the second. Mr. Deitz, did you want to speak to this?
Yes, sir, thank you. Good evening, council. So you might recall 6 or 8 months ago, Diamond Communications came before you to present a proposal. Thanks to a lot of very hard work from Steve negotiating with Diamond Communications, we have a much better proposal before you that will generate far more revenue than the original proposal would have. In the event that Diamond Communications actually constructs a tower, a cell tower on one of our city parcels. I think there are 4 parcels in this, initially in this proposal. One of them is our 2-acre parcel out near Moss Creek. There's 2 parcels that are side by side up on College Boulevard across from the college where our water towers are. I know it looks like one big parcel, but it's actually 2 parcels. And then 1 parcel down at the intersection of Palm and Bayshore Drive that we own. You know, if they were able to find carriers for these towers, it would certainly enhance and expand the cell coverage across Niceville. So Steve, thank you very much for all your hard work on that. And I think this will be a valuable upgrade to you know, our cell services here in Niceville if the carriers get on board.
Any questions by the council? Would anybody in the audience like to come before the council on this issue? Seeing none. Mr. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mr. Rominger?
Yes.
Ms. Alley? Mr. Schatzel?
Yes.
And Mr. Tolbert?
Yes.
Let's move to Resolution 26-05-03.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of Niceville, Florida, authorizing the city manager or designee to submit a Florida Department of Environmental Protection Recreational Trails Program grant application for the Rocky Bayou Multi-Use Trail Project, authorizing the execution of grant-related documents and providing for an effective date.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So, second.
All right, so I have the motion by Ms. Alley and second by Mr. Stoffer. Do we need any discussion on this one? Chris, you want to come forward?
Sure. Yeah, just quickly, somewhat similar, a little bit different than the last item that I presented up here. This is another trails project. This is for the multi-use path along Rocky Bayou Drive. So another grant period. This is through a DEP state grant that is open right now this month, is the window for submittal. And so what this project is, would be kind of helping connect we have from College Boulevard on down Forest, the project with the county being constructed there now. For the multi-use path, this would connect from there to crossing Boulevard, near the public shopping center there. Really trying to make this whole network and a loop around the city to continue to be built out. We saw this opportunity to submit for a grant, so that's why we're here. We did also, this required an additional public input hearing, so this was presented to the Planning Commission last week, where they did unanimously recommend approval to move forward with this grant submittal. We do have an estimated cost of about $485,000. Initially, that's not fully designed yet, but that was the initial rough cost there with it. And it is a matching grant. There's different tiers of a match. We don't have that exactly known yet. It Phil's working on that side of it, and but we would look at budgeting the additional match, whether through in-kind services or through the budget next year, if we are to move forward. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions by the council? Okay, we'll take Mr. Schatzel first, then Ms. Alley.
Chris, this is proposed to be a 10-foot wide multi-use path. Is it going to be the same width as the one that's out Forest Drive and then on College Boulevard? Is that also a 10-foot wide path?
Yes.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Ms. Alley.
What side of the road is this on? It looks like it's on the east, but is it on the west?
On the west side, so
Okay.
yes.
It is hard to.
Yes, there's the existing, there's the narrow one on the other side there. That one's had a lot of maintenance issues with the proximity with the roofs and trees and all. We've talked about, if we go forward, this for a safety aspect will reduce the crossings over there on Rocky Bayou. And have that direct connection to Forest and then the crossings. And then on the south side, we could look at, or the east side, we could look at additionally replacing with concrete in the future.
Any other questions by council? All right, thank you, Chris. Would anybody in the audience like to come before the council on this issue? Seeing none, Mr. Tolbert,
Yes.
Mr. Schatzel,
Yes.
Ms. Alley,
Yes.
Mr. Rominger,
Yes.
and Mr. Stopper.
Yes.
All right, let's move down to the 607 Boulevard variance.
This applicant requests a variance from the required rear setback of 5 foot from the rear property line to construct the proposed duplex. The proposed final order is for 607 Bullock Boulevard, parcel A, and can be identified as parcel ID number 08-1S-22-0000-0075-0000. The site is approximately 0.17 plus or minus acres in size.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
And do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Alley. Chris, you ready?
Sure.
All right.
Thank you. So this is a request that we received from the property, the agent of the property owner for this property. So the parcel directly to the east of it, it's owned by the same owner, and they went through a development order process for a triplex to the east of it, and then on this parcel that's on Bullock Boulevard, they were looking at doing a duplex on it, and when they were laying out their new development, they didn't realize initially that the parcel actually goes onto the street there. There's no right of way there, so when they were initially measuring for the size of their development and their setbacks needed, they didn't initially realize that the setback is actually, would have placed it, about 10 feet off of the street edge there. So, in looking at that, wanting to move it back so they could accommodate parking spaces and all, they came to us and initiated this request for a variance, which would reduce the rear yard setback, which is the eastern side of this, requesting it to be reduced down to 5 feet. That is the side that is abutting their also neighboring property they own for their development here. And so staff did review this one, the situation there with the lack of right of way and the property lines. It is a bit of a unique situation there. And so We did take it to the planning commission, and did recommend approval. Planning commission did recommend approval of this last week. Don't have any other comments to add, but happy to answer any questions.
Questions by the council? Go ahead, Mr. Colbert.
More of a comment, normally I'm the guy that says no to all of these, but I actually appreciate the planning commission's due diligence in weighing this out. I read their minutes and the questions they asked and the answers you provided. This actually meets the definition of a variance, you know, because it's illegal. It's not an emotional decision, it's a legal decision. And so
Absolutely.
it actually meets that of a hardship not created on their own. And so in that case, I appreciate your work on this one.
Any other questions or comments by the council? Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Would anybody in the audience like to come before the council on this issue? Seeing none. Mr. Stoffer, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Rominger?
Yes.
Ms. Alley?
Yes.
Mr. Schatzel?
Yes.
And Mr. Tolbert?
Of course, yes.
All right, let's move down to the city manager reports.
All right, thanks, sir. I have nothing for you, so, Chief Hayes, please.
City Manager, Mr. Mayor, Council, we'll give you the stat breakdown for April 2026 for the police department. I left it back here. I could read you the agenda.
We caught him off guard.
Yeah.
He just sat down and then we called him up.
I can read the agenda if you like. All right. During the month of April, NPD responded to 2,801 calls for service. Breakdown summary. We had 40 traffic crashes, 76 vehicles, 2 pedestrians involved. We had 210 traffic citations written. We had 539 warnings given. We had 20 criminal traffic citations issued and 8 DUI citations issued. The towing, we had 9 AA. We had 8 for roadside, and we had 9 for white wrecker. 31 animal complaint calls, typical, no bears this month. Cats, kittens, mice, rats. We did have a dog hit by a vehicle. We had a dog bit where the dog had to be dispatched by an officer. I'm sorry, we had a person bit where the dog had to be dispatched. I did want to mention that this week is National Police Week. It's May 10th through May 16th. And so if you see an officer, shake his or her hand, give them a thank you. They are some unsung heroes out there. And they don't ask for much and they give a lot. Some of the other events we had on April 25th, the Drug Take Back Day, where people turned in their prescription drugs. It resulted in 78 pounds of prescription drugs. That's a good program. That's 78 pounds of drugs that's not in our sewer system or in the trash or available for others. Now, we do have a reminder, the permanent collection box right in front of the police department that's open year-round. Upcoming May 23rd, we have the Fatal Vision Impaired Driving Course. It involves pedal cars and simulation goggles, and the class filled very quickly when we put it out. So we'll be putting on numerous, primarily geared right now towards teen drivers, but and high school age people, but it's open to all comers. And more announcements to come with that. On the school zone cameras, you had 961 approved citations, total events 1,477. And with that, I want to introduce you to Canine Officer Bronson and his new dog Chase. This dog is the dog that was replacing Blue that we've done a fundraiser for and used grant money. Thank you, Phil, for helping us with that. Thank you for all the citizens and businesses that donated. It's really, it's such a great thing for the community we have and how giving they are to us. Chase is a 1.5-year-old German Shepherd. He's been with us since the end of April. Within his first week of being deployed, he was able to detect, and an arrest was made on 49 grams of methamphetamine out of a vehicle. Since then, he's had up to 5, I believe, other detections and apprehensions. So he's already showing a great nose, and he's a great dog. He's a young guy, and we're going to get a lot of good years of service out of him. Very well behaved, good with children. As you can see, he's very alert. Do you have any questions for Canine Officer Bronson or Chase? Do what now?
He's so tiny. I said, is he full grown? Because he's so tiny.
No, he's still growing. He's just
You see those paws down there?
Yeah.
He's got a ways to go. He's gonna get bigger.
Well, we're used to looking at Big Cody, the big black bear, you know, and he's a little fellow growing up. He's very active and he's ready to go.
So Officer Bronson, this is new territory for you. How you liking it so far?
We got a big shoe to fill, but it'll be an adventure.
What he meant to say was he's excited. He's really excited. Just can't wait. I'll tell you the truth of the story. As soon as I got here, he pulled me aside and told me his lifelong dream is to be a canine officer, a canine handler. And he's worked very hard towards that. He's been very patient, but he's also given up some things and sacrificed some positions and to do this. And he's a very solid and great officer and a great asset for the city.
That's awesome. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for the chief? All right, you have some more report, or did I jump the gun?
I think that's it.
Okay, I'll start with Mr. Tolbert, and I'll work to Mr. Schatzel.
So, last month you said Swift Creek Hogs.
Say again, sir?
Last month you referenced Swift Creek Hogs. You cursed us.
They've been captured.
They have, yes, now, but you cursed us on those. So, for all of you that are aware, there's a lot of feral swine in the area.
Yes, there are.
And they are destructive as anything, so.
But y'all did your due diligence and have them captured.
We did. They were taken care of.
I know the captor, he has promised me some hog meat. I'm holding to it.
Okay.
Mr. Schatzel, go ahead.
Chief, the school system is, hopefully all the students will graduate this month and move up. So school's going to go on summer recess. And just for the sake of reminding all of us in these off times, as summer's time, if you go through the school zone, what can we anticipate for the speed limit? Or what should the speed limit be?
Well, there are summer school hours, and we have not determined if we're going to run it. I don't think we're not going to run the cameras through the summer, so you'll just have to obey the normal speed zones. If the light's flashing, that means the summer school is in session, so you'll need to adhere to that on any of the school zones in the city or county. So just follow the signs, nothing special at that time.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Go ahead, Mr. Stoffer.
So we passed the e-bike ordinance, which I think was critical. Some maybe didn't go far enough, whatever, but are you, they're supposed to be wearing helmets, things like that. Are we able to enforce that, or is it still?
No, it's in effect. I couldn't tell you specifics on it. We have not written any ordinance violations on it. There's been corrective guidance given. A lot of the problems we're having right now technically don't even fall into the e-bike. They're just those little motorcycle like ones that the kids are on, and they're classified as actually an electric motorcycle. We have to deal with, to recent memory, that's the numerous calls that we get on those. There's kids riding them through various parts of the city and recklessly, and we go out and try to make contact and stop them. Usually involves a call to the parents, potentially taking the bike, that type of thing.
I've seen some improvement in some areas, and then, you get one day, you got 2 kids on mini, or whatever they're on, just blowing through and crossing traffic, not really looking, stopping, or following the laws, but it's just gonna be the way it is to some degree.
And you'll probably see a little bit of an uptick on that for summer, when kids are out of school during the daytime hours, and so we'll try to aggressively enforce the ordinance and any state laws they're violating.
Any other questions for the chief? Thanks, chief, and again, thank you to your entire team. I know this is that recognition period, but I recognize them daily, and they do a tremendous job, and thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You bet.
All right, Chief Kukulis, please.
Good evening, for the record, Alex Kukulis, Fire Chief. I guess in our department head meeting this morning, it's a tough act to follow with the dog, so I'll have to come back and play the request for a Dalmatian soon.
Oh, Dalmatian.
Yeah. You have the report for the fire department for the month of April, had 173 emergency responses. You'll note our 90th percentile travel time was 10 minutes, 39 seconds. I did want to kind of caveat that caught my attention. It's attributable to a couple, I think, outliers, in several instances of Highway 85 to 85 that are kind of drawing our response times out, as well as this caused us to identify an anomaly in the CAD connection from the county to our reporting system. So we're able to work on that. So I will come back with you with some revised numbers probably next month as we figure out where that glitch is too. And then you can kind of see the heat map on page 2, a pretty usual disbursement of call volume throughout the city. The highlights for us, we did hire a new administrative assistant. Her name is Ryan Mashure. She just started with us on Friday, and she's already off to a good start, so we're happy to have her as part of the team now. We also have a new firefighter paramedic named Shane Wiley. I'll bring him to you in a future meeting to swear him and present his badge as well. But he is also a already certified paramedic, and so that's a nice segue into my other piece. Good news is that with two of the new firefighters we've hired being paramedics, it's going to allow us to initiate the ALS service level here in the city sooner than I originally forecast. We thought we were going to have to wait till the end of this paramedic program that we're putting on. And had some good conversations with the Chief Wellborn of County EMS, and we're probably going to bring the interlocal agreement next month to you and put all the pieces together. We have a target date of July 1st. Don't hold me to that, but we may be providing ALS service to the city as soon as July. So that's an exciting piece of news for us. I'm just working hard on it. Other than that, we did attend a few public relations events, including the Peace Officers Memorial event at Northwest Florida State College. It was well attended. We're appreciative to be there. And then last piece, I didn't put it in here, but we may have caught some of the media as well, but we initiated a boundary drop that I mentioned last month between us, Valparaiso, and East Niceville Fire. And so that all got programmed into the CAD in the last couple of weeks, and we're starting to see the system working like it should. So it's actually, we're seeing a little bit of a drop in our call volume, which is okay. It was anticipated as well, where East Niceville is closer to all these incidents kind of on the south and east side of town. So all good news. But other than that, if you have any questions for me?
Questions for the chief? Chief, you want to share the news, the good news about that money we just got?
Well, yeah, I thought I mentioned it at the April meeting, but it's good. Yeah, thank you for reminding me. We also did have the ceremony. Some of you were in attendance there for a very generous donation from the Randall Wise Foundation, amount of $10,000. It's also going to kickstarting this ALS program. So we've already made a few purchases in the way of mannequins, training aids, and some of the other equipment that will go on the engine to put that in service. So unfortunately, Randy Wise's son he was ill that day, so I might bring him back to a future meeting here so we can formally thank him in front of everybody else.
That would be awesome.
Right, and the Dragon boat, you guys were an integral part of it. Daughter was a drummer, and you and your wife.
Yeah.
We won.
We had a great time. I almost wore my bullet sunglasses for it.
I wrote an article for the paper on it too, that Niceville, we're looking to three-peat next year.
We will.
I'll let you elaborate on that a little bit later, so everybody that's in the audience right now, some of them may know, a lot of them have what I call the RCA dog look about what you just said. They have no idea what you're talking about, so you'll elaborate later.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
And last but certainly not least, Jonathan.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Mr. Deitch, Wendy. Update on the reuse pipeline. Reuse pipeline, a 3.4 mile stretch down Highway 293 is laid and tied into Deer Moss Creek. We're awaiting our easement from Eglin Air Force Base to do the last 1,000 foot to get it into the lagoon. Have no idea how long that will be, but that's the last stretch of this project and it'll be complete. We are about ready to go out for bid for our new 1,000,000-gallon water tank in Deer Moss Creek. Already got DEP certification. Our engineers are putting together the bid documents to get to Mr. James Walters. So that project will be going out to bid shortly. Our new generator at lift station 63 has been installed. All the bonds have been recorded through Lucas County Clerk of Court for the Greenbelt Sewer. So I'm hoping next week we'll have our kickoff meeting and that project should be started within a couple of weeks. Well 6, we're waiting on the motor, a new 100-horse motor to come in. That was one of the wells that hit for total coliform out off Ruffle Drive. So once we get the motor in, we'll do the flushing, pull more back tees, and hopefully we'll get it back online, but we're good. We're not losing any ground. So that should be in the next couple of weeks. Grinder well drilling has capped off the monitoring well at well 11 on Collins Boulevard, something we were hit up when we did our 3-year inspection that DEP got on us about, but that issue's been resolved. Well 2 at the city yard has been updated with all new stainless piping and upgraded. All the water and sewer doing great on updating. We're going through all these wells, updating our water and wells and cleaning it up. I'd like to thank the IT department for installing cameras on all our wells and tanks. Everything going on in the world today, we've decided to put cameras on all that. So number one thing that they can get you, your water system. We have started all the PMs on all of our generators for hurricane season. Should have that wrapped up shortly. New water well 12, GCT staked it out, staked the easement out on Okaloosa County School District property in Deer Moss Creek. In Deer Moss Creek, we'll be clearing that property so we can get bore samples to start the new well. There were 43 water calls, 10 sewer calls, made 3 water taps, 2 sewer taps, 319 line spots. We have a drainage issue on Canal Drive. We're working with APS, Atlantic Pipe Services on. Probably gonna have to wait till later on in October when we get another north wind and get a lot of that water in the canal out of there and get it on that pipe. We have cleaned out all of our stormwater vaults and inlets for hurricane season. We have fixed a stormwater issue on 21st Street. We have a stormwater issue that we're working with Okaloosa County on Adams Street, 224 Adams Street that we're currently working on. Update on adopted drain. We currently have 37 participants. 74 drains have been adopted and they picked up totally over 110 pounds of debris off of these drains. So thanks to Ella and Bobby, God bless Bobby by the way, on working with me. That's a heck of a program. Looks really good to the state on our MS4, which we got. That was my next line. Our MS4 permit to discharge stormwater within the city of Niceville. We'll be having that audit in July. We're looking really good. This gives us a lot of great points. So I think we're going to be in good shape. The sidewalk repairs, all the sidewalk repairs on North Cedar has been completed. We even installed a handicap ramp for Uncle Phil to get his wheelchair across Cedar. So that project turned out really well. Hill Lane Road extension, we had final inspection 2 weeks ago. Unfortunately, due to some family issues, I wasn't there, but we did notice last week that some of the it's open, but some of the stop signs are not 7-foot legal height. So the contractors will be coming back, lifting those stop signs, then I can give Mr. Bill on final payment, but if you want to ride it, y'all can ride it. I'm not going back over there. So Hill Lane is open and ready to go. Ready?
Ready.
Valparaiso Boulevard sidewalk is completed. They put the handrails in. Talked to Carice Lejeune today. We should be doing final inspection this week. And I just want to let you know, Chavez Construction from Pensacola did a great job.
They really did.
June 23rd was final acceptance. They were right at 6 weeks before they were even supposed to be done. They got in there and got it done and it looks really good. So if you get a chance right now, Valp Boulevard going east to Redwood Bayshore interchange, and it looks really nice. So
It does.
they did a great job. So they're done. College Boulevard multi-use path, they got all the subgrade done. They started working on the curving, the, storm drain, that stuff they gotta do. So hopefully soon we'll be seeing base installed, maybe some paving. Who knows?
Should I have cuts full of guys?
Turkey Creek bathrooms are complete, so if you haven't seen them yet, go down there and do your thing and check it out. We completed our payment assessment study. We ranked in the 80th percentile, which is about the top 15, not in just the state, but in the nation. So that means we're in the top 15 percentile of best roads in the nation. So all of our roads graded out about an 80%. Red is the worst you can get, and we had no red. So thanks to Mr. Dykes and everybody else with Phil and grants and everything we're doing, getting paving done, we're really looking good on our roads. I know another thing I want to mention on that pavement assessment study is really good for hurricane season. If you have that pavement assessment study, then FEMA will reimburse you on all road repairs that need to be done. Just real quick, Hurricane Michael hit, Panama City had $5 million worth of roadway damage, and because they had this pavement assessment study, they got reimbursed for every bit of it. So that's real big. We update that every 3 years. We just got done with it, so we're in good shape. The Holy Name Catholic School, that school zone is installed. It's up and running. We had a difficulty last week with the audible signs, but they've been, new panels were ordered and they were fixed on Monday. Bayshore Drive, Okaloosa County drainage crews are doing, installing the drainage on Bayshore Drive at Hasty Lane. Should be seeing one lane road, sometimes road closure between the 11th and the 29th as they install storm drains. So it's not the city, it's Okaloosa County. Meigs Park is going quick. Storm drain ponds are already dug. They're forming up slabs for all the buildings right now. The dugouts are going up. Talked to Michelle Gartman from Okaloosa County today. We got 3 truckloads of playground equipment already coming. So that project's moving great. It's going to be a really great for the city of Niceville. So that project's really off to a good start. Code compliance, there were 41 new cases. 24 cases were closed. 13 open cases under investigation, and 4 courtesies. Any questions before I move on?
Go ahead, Ms. Allen.
So because we have so many people in the audience today, would you explain the adopt a drain? Because maybe some of them would like to adopt a drain.
So adopt a drain is what we started in 2024. Basically all it is residents that have a drain or grate or inlet by the house and get with IT or myself. They can adopt that drain and basically take care of it, and it gives us points on our stormwater rating, being able to discharge stormwater within the city.
So I have adopted my drain, and so I go out there and clean all the stuff up before it goes into the hole, and then you get an email to report every 6 months
Right.
how much stuff you picked up. Keep the drain clean. So it's a good thing. If you haven't done it, go online and sign up.
Any questions?
Go ahead.
I just want to say welcome back. We've missed you. The meetings haven't been the same. And and then right when Val P's getting those railings up today.
Oh, yeah.
So excellent. I drive down there several times leaving my home, and people are walking it all the time.
Right.
And I've stopped and talked to a few of them, and they're just thrilled to death that job was done, thanks to you and the fact that you picked it up when the ball
Good.
could have been dropped. So both of you, thank you much.
Other questions for our Public Works Director?
All right, so we got one other thing, my sign. So, January the 30th, talked to Mr. Dykes. I go to just something as simple as my wife's surgery, turn into the next 3 months of just hell for my dad, my disabled son, everything else. My team behind me, 2 in the back, I just want to say thank you for the support. And my shining penny this month is that man right there. Mr. Dykes. So without his patience and support, I wouldn't be able to do and build my family like I do
Jonathan, you are right. We are very blessed to have Mr. Deitch as our city manager. He cares about this city. He cares about the team. And obviously, we know that. And you and your team do an outstanding job. And we really appreciate the fact that we have a team that's so responsive. So responsive that I mentioned to you about a down tree going across. A couple hours later, I was on my way, and they had already had that fairly well cleaned up and done. I was impressed, and so again, that just speaks volume of the team that you have down there and how well they respond to citizens' needs. So thank you for that. And oh, by the way, your head's pretty shiny too. I just want you to know that.
No, honestly, I mean, I know it's a busy joker right there.
Yep.
But I mean, every day, 2 and 3 times a day, he would take time to text. And just want you to know, thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Good.
All right. First, I want to take a few moments and see if the council has anything they want to share. Specifically, I'll start with Mr. Stoffer because I think you got something you want to share.
I will, for the audience, I'll mention the Dragon Boat Race. So it's 20 racers in a boat. You got the drummer, and we did not compete years ago. For the last 2 years? Last 2 years we've competed and taken first place in the Mayor's Cup. And our mayor is the head of the thing, so it's, and we got the most funds raised. So they raised $22,000 for mostly
Bring Hope Now.
Bring Hope Now, which is trying to, eliminate, suicide and things like that with the schools and with the military. So I just want to commend everybody that got involved. I was mentioning it to Chief because it was a family affair with him. I mean, he was there, his wife was there, his daughter was the drummer, and we're going to look at next year being 3 people, and we only.
Don't forget his son.
What?
Don't forget his son.
Oh, his son was there. Yeah. So so it's 4 of them. So we only lost the overall by less than a half second.
Not that we're counting, but .08.
0.08 seconds. So, that's doable. Next year we will win overall. We won last year overall.
Did.
And so just wanted to, mention how he got his whole family involved and commending him and the city and the mayor's persistence. The reason we raised the most money is because if you didn't give, you were docked. He was going to go directly to your bank account. Just kidding. But good job, Mayor.
Thank you. Anything else, Doug?
Oh, there was one thing.
Go ahead.
I am writing, so I did write an article for the paper. I write for Bay Life. So there will be an article in the paper about us, winning again the Mayor's Cup. So I wanted to mention that, and I almost forgot. Thank you.
Mr. Ominger? I will simply say that on the race itself, usually we won by a boat length, and that's pretty impressive. So it was a great time. Miss Allen.
So this Saturday is the Gate to Gate. I'm so excited to be able to participate in it again for about 22 years in a row. And it's the 75th anniversary of this race. And it's actually from Gate to Gate again, where they were changed it to loop, but we're going to go from the west gate to the east gate, and it's 4.4 miles, and I'm excited to be able to still do this event. So.
It's awesome. Yeah. Mr. Schatzel?
I'd just like to reiterate what Councilman Stauffer had said earlier on the Warren Averett audit. An audit is required every year, and I'd like to compliment not only our city manager, David Dyke, our finance director, Bill, and all the people working on the finance and throughout the whole city. It is not just the finance team, it's everybody who purchases something and they have a receipt, they turn it in, and it gets logged in correctly into the system correctly so that the audit comes up clean like we had this year. So thank you all.
And Mr. Tolbert.
I'd just like to piggyback on that. Thank you for making business decisions for the city of Niceville. Looking at what things cost and looking at what the benefit is to making valuable decisions for us.
Excellent comments, and I will just close this with, to the council, remember, and to any in the audience, the chamber breakfast is tomorrow morning, so hopefully you can all make it. Now, with that said, we're going to enter into our open forum, and I want to give you the ground rules for the open forum. The open forum, I will give anybody that has an issue they want to bring before the council 3 minutes. I strongly suggest that you make your point quickly because I will cut you off at 3 minutes. The council is in a receive mode only. So with that said, I am now opening up. Would anybody like to come before the council on any issue? If so, please come forward, state your name and address for the record.
Mr. Mayor, could I ask for one additional bit of information from the speakers? And that would be whether they're residents of the city of Niceville, if that will help us as a board determine.
Okay.
I am not a resident of the city of Niceville. I do have a Niceville address. We do have representation here. I'm here to represent the pickleball seniors in the community. My name is Catherine Hargrave. My address is 13917 State Highway 20, Niceville, Florida. So to recap, on April 28th, we were provided a notice, 2-day notice, that the senior center courts would be open to the public. Now, in the past, we had 2 courts beside the center that were open to the public, or to just the seniors, and they were moved to the public. Then we built new courts a few years ago, and we had dedicated time from 8:30 to 4:30 for the senior citizens. So that was taken away, and May 1st it was open to the public. We met with the city manager and the manager of the senior center to discuss our concerns. One, that we got short notice and we were unable to provide. Collectively, we have a lot of years of experience and wisdom that we might could have provided some alternate solutions. Our concern is not having dedicated time for the seniors when the senior center was established to do that. That was part of their mission. The physical and emotional well-being for the senior citizens of this community is very important. Pickleball provides that. It provides physical and emotional and a community for the seniors. It's one way that we can get activity outside. So restricting or changing the access without, future planning is detrimental to the seniors in the area. Like I said, we had the initial 2 courts beside the senior center. We lost those. Then we had the dedicated courts. Those are now gone. We have no dedicated time for seniors. So we have safety issues. We brought this up. You've got people out there playing with teenagers, with young adults. You have people 55 and older. A lot of our players are 70 and 80. Believe it or not, they're out there and they're hitting the ball. So we've played with them in the past. And literally, even if you're not playing with them, if they're beside you and they hit a ball, they're so agile and fast, they can run in front of you. We've had seniors almost fall and get hurt just from that. Not intentionally, but because, they're fast and they're moving. Some of the reasons we were provided, I'm trying to go really fast so I can get this in, was there was a staffing shortage, the capacity and growth of the senior center, and the wear and tear on the building. We offered recommendations for consideration. Using fobs to enter the gates, having senior center volunteers, which there's a lot of them now that do activities and events. I manage the bingo at the senior center, I've done it for years, for them to actually lock and unlock the gates. Also, it was turned over to the recreation department. They could lock and unlock the gates for us to kind of keep the staff from having to do that. We also asked that maybe consideration 62 years and older to be members versus 55, because a lot of people still work from 55 to 60. That would reduce the membership and help the senior center out. Upgrade the courts at Meigs Park.
That's 3 minutes.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Okay, well, I got most of it in. Bottom line, we're asking the city for dedicated time for seniors to play pickleball safely. So whether that be funding for new courts or some alternate solution for the courts that we have at the senior center. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
And again, we're working on a petition. We expect hundreds of people to sign that. We just did not have time before this first council meeting. Thank you, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to come before the council on any issue? Please come forward, state your name and address for the record.
Josh Landon, 59 North Circle, Niceville, Florida. I'm a senior, play out at the senior courts. Been retired for 7 years, much to the chagrin of my wife. There. And I really enjoy myself out there. I mean, it's wonderful for a senior, right? I've been playing out there for 5 years. Matter of fact, I play quite often with your son and your grandson, Miss Allie, most every day. It's just really wonderful, and I really appreciate the city of Niceville providing that facility for us. We have a group of, I'd say, 70 people that play on the triple courts. We call ourselves the Early Birds. We use a WhatsApp app to coordinate what time we arrive and stuff. And then the ladies, they have the Early Birds group. No, they have the Dancing Pickles group. 80 people, and their WhatsApp group, and they play on the twin courts. And I would have to say the Early Birds are a little bit stronger players than the Dancing Pickles. So what happens what used to happen at 8:30 is they would come and run the young people off out of the Early Bird group, where the stronger players were, and they would have to leave. And then so they would go up to the public courts, to the twin courts, and kind of crowd out, I guess, the Dancing Pickles and play up there. And I'm sure they did not want to do that. As a matter of fact, I know they really were upset about having to leave. And so this policy change is really good for them, because the few that were playing, they could continue to play against the stronger players. So that was a positive for them. And the reasons they made the change in the policy didn't make any sense to me. And my wife always says, if it doesn't make sense, it's probably not true. I'm concerned that there's been some abuse of power here, that there's been someone exert political pressure to modify this policy so that their family members or someone they know may be able to continue to play in the morning against the stronger players. That's my concern. I don't have
Sir,
any
I'm just
evidence
going to
of
interrupt
that,
you.
sir.
Sir, can you pause this time for a minute?
Yep.
Sir, nobody that you are talking to had weighed in or knew about this decision before I made it.
Right, I'm not saying they did. I'm just saying that it feels like, to me, that there's been some political pressure somewhere, because the reasons why we were given for the policy change were changed. They told us one thing, then they told us another thing, and none of them make sense.
I'm gonna start your time again, and you've got about 35 seconds.
Okay. So, I'm sorry to kind of end this in a negative fashion, but I just wanted to tell you that I really appreciate that. I love going down there playing. I pay my $125. I go down there and I play. I live in Blue Water, and I play, and then I go have coffee with my friends every morning. I get there about 6:30. About 11:30 I leave, spend about an hour in a cafe, chit-chatting with my friends. It's wonderful, and we love it so much, and we appreciate it. That's all.
Thank you. Your time's up. Would anybody else like to come before the council on any issue? Please come forward and state your name for the record. And address as well.
And residency, please.
My name is Robbie Greninger. I live at 48 Derby Downs Circle in Niceville. I'm a Niceville resident. I do not play pickleball, however, I go to the senior center. And the senior center has been a boon for our community. There are numerous people who have been active since the community center opened. Throughout COVID and everything else, they happen to live in Blue Water. They pay their fees, or they live in Valpy. They pay their fees, they come, they're very active in all kinds of activities. I have no idea if it's true or just scuttlebutt, but there are all kinds of rumors floating around that membership is going to be limited only to the members of the city of Niceville. If indeed this is true, I feel it would only be equitable to the people who have been members for all these years to be grandfathered in and allowed to keep their memberships. It's a community, people go make friends, not only play pickleball. As I said, I don't play pickleball. I've met a wide range of people that I would have never met before, and it's been nothing but a plus. And because people happen to live in Blue Water, they may now not be able to participate, and I think that would be a shame for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to come before the council on any issue? Please come forward, state your name and address for the record and residency.
Good evening, my name is Hope McKinnon. I live in 1411 Clary Sage Lane in Deer Moss Creek. First of all, I want to say thank you. Thank you for all y'all do for us as a city. I really appreciate it. We've been here 23 years, and this is our favorite place we have lived. Thank you also to the city manager for all he does for us. But I feel like there's a little bit of miscommunication here that I'm concerned about. First of all, the Niceville Senior Center, the women do play on the 3 courts. I don't know, the men are gone by the time we get there. Lessons occur there, and we do play. I feel like that maybe there wasn't communication between the city manager and the council for them to understand the reasoning behind this. And we don't understand the reasoning behind this. The lady who spoke before, Ms. Robbie, she's correct about the fees. I think, you know, anybody who's willing to pay $100 or $125 a year to be part of the pickleball or the senior system, that needs to continue. I think it'll help Parks and Rec. Well, to keep the upkeep of the building and the pickleball courts. Love the Mex courts. I've played there. They're really nice courts. But as a pickleball player, I noticed a couple of things that need to be tweaked. It'd be nice if it was built like the senior centers courts. They have a gate all the way around it so the balls can't roll out. At Meg's is just behind it. It's about this big. And I think it's because there's picnic tables back there and people are watching with their littles and they want to be able to catch them. So I think more people would use Meg's Park if that was provided. They're very nice courts. And I also think if there was a permanent bathroom instead of a porta potty, they would also use them because honestly, I won't use a porta potty. I don't do it at the malt festival. I'm not going to do it playing pickleball. So I just want to say thank you. And just if y'all could maybe communicate and try to work this out so this will be smoothed over because we appreciate everything everybody does for our community, our town, and our center. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to come before the council on any issue? Seeing none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign? We are adjourned.
Play baseball with my daughter.